Welcome to the first episode of Live After Delft, powered by FooDo. Here with us, we have Anurag Bhattacharya, a TU Delft alumnus who has graduated in 2013 from the Faculty of Architecture. And as an active alumni, Anurag has inspired actually countless students in their academic journeys and professional pursuits as well. So, hi Anurag, how are you doing today?
Hi, pleasure to be on your show.
Yeah, I'm so glad that you could make it. Like, really, for me as well, back I came in like 2019, and when I wanted like a reference of, okay, how could life look like? It's very hard, you know, these days to like really imagine, because you can take a decision of, okay, do masters or not. That's relatively easier task, but you don't even know, okay, what is life after that, you know? It's sometimes very hard to envision that, okay, do I make a 2-year plan? Do I make a 3-year plan? Do I make a 10-year plan? And you have been here for almost more than 11 years now?
11 years, more precise. Yes, indeed.
So that's been quite a journey, right? So it's been like nearly 11 years after graduation for you. So what do you think, what can one expect in their life after graduation? And what can one really have potential obstacles in their growth, which can hinder their, like, in this whole career path? What do you think?
Yeah, first of all, thanks for inviting me here, and also the place where you're shooting, it's also very close to my heart. If people don't know, we are in the Bob Pub. It's the same place 11 years back when we graduated from our batch in 2013. We're right here celebrating our graduation, and to be back here after 11 years, it's like it's a special moment. Yeah, I think after graduation, indeed, this question lingers around you, like how the life is gonna be. There are a lot of uncertainties. You're a fresh graduate. You want to do stuff. You want to learn. But also depends on the market situation at that moment. When I graduated, it was not the best time in the market. It was almost the entire European Union was coming out of recession per se. So there were limited opportunities, and the obstacles being there was a lot of competition, because I think it's still there. There are positions, but a lot of people are trying to get positions. So you have to make yourself to that level that you can compete, and you have some special qualities or talents, which probably you do, but to showcase them to the utmost potential to your let's say your future employer, that's very important. I think as a professional, in a professional terms, you have a lot to gain working in Netherlands. The best thing which I find is the work and life balance which you can get here. So you have enough time to do your own activities. Like if you like sports, you can do that. If you like traveling, and I always say that traveling is the best thing to do since you're here in European Union and all the borders are open. And as an architect, it's the utmost, I think, important thing to travel as much as possible to get inspiration, to know. And in terms of personal development, yeah, you have a lot in your hands. You can there's a lot of ways you can develop personally as well. In terms of obstacles, yeah, which you asked, that's a very valid question. One thing obstacle is you're in a new country. You have to somehow try to find your way in this culture. You have to understand how the Dutch culture works and try to integrate it into it as much as possible. That everyone doesn't find it that easy in the first go. It takes time, and also depending on the profession which you are following. For example, I'm from architecture background, and a lot of our work consists of, indeed, of course, designing, but also we have a client facing or a contractor facing on the site. And that means if you're working in the Benelux region, let's say the Belgium, Netherlands, and Luxembourg, the mode of language is indeed Dutch or Flanders. That is somehow related. So language knowledge is very important, and that can become a possible obstacle for your growth if you don't take that into account in the early of your, let's say when you're just getting into the market. So that's something I think it's quite an important thing to.
Oh, nice. Actually, I can relate to that. Like, I've been working for almost 3 years, and I do think that if I would have started learning Dutch back in university and then graduated, it would have helped me boost my career by at least like a year. Because when you, like, of course you can talk in English with them, but the moment you can talk with them in their own language, it helps to ease in the conversation where they're like, oh, okay, this guy's trying, you know. So maybe the more weightage in the room when you speak helps a lot more. And there's the soft skills, which are the small thing which people tend to maybe ignore, but that has a huge impact for sure.
Yeah, indeed. Like, for example, if you are in a meeting and if you show that you also give it a try, you try to speak in the same language and try to respond and reciprocate. it already gives them a positive, like, yeah, this guy's trying.
Yeah.
And it helps in the workflow. As well, I
Definitely.
feel.
Definitely. So moving to the next question, it's been a long time for you here as well, right? So what can one really expect if they plan to stay here for longer? So do you see yourself staying in the Netherlands for an extended period? And if yes, then what do you think are the pros and cons?
Yeah, I definitely, at the moment, if I speak, I definitely see myself staying here. And the reason being, the type of projects I'm working on, it's very interesting. They're very innovative. So basically, there's never a dull moment. There are always challenging moments, but it's also, as I find as much as joy in solving them. And I think that gives me a kick out of it. That yeah, I have a problem I'm able to solve, and it's an everyday thing. So for me, it's just not a job, but it's also the type of job I'm working in the profession I'm in. That gives me immense joy. Talking about pros, yeah, the pros is that because you are in such a market which is innovating, and I think it goes beyond architecture to other professions. You have to upskilling yourself in whatever you do. The market is changing. There are new technologies coming up every day as we move on, and you need to upskill your data set, whatever you have learned.
Yeah.
Unlearn some things, learn new things, to still be fresh and up in the game, what you're doing with.
Definitely.
And stay up. And you see the buildings which are building. If you see that in terms of technology, they're employing from the climate aspect, from sustainability aspect, or just how they perform from structural point of view. Yeah, I think it's very essential, and that I think is a pro. The Dutch market, or here they kind of allow you to learn those skills. And generally, offices in Netherlands are also kind of open. That if you have something, an idea in your mind, which is interesting. For example, I can give a very interesting example. In our office recently, we are delving into traffic simulation.
Nice.
So that means, imagine this building we are sitting in, and yeah, if you have to design something, we just generally design a generic way. But here we can simulate the stream of people, how they're moving around, and the design kind of grows around how people are moving. So it's a very informed decision. It's a very new thing. This has always been a branch of, let's say, traffic engineering, but how it's coming to architecture, it's a very inter-collaborative environment.
Definitely.
And I think that's a pro. In coming to the cons, I think one of the cons being, of course, that you have to also deal with if you're in the market here. If you're not from EU, you have to deal with a lot of regulatory things, like you have to get a visa and things. So it's a bit of a thing. You have to apply for the visa, or the companies to apply for visa. There's constant struggle in your mind in a way, and I think a lot of people, probably you have been here as well, so you kind of know that it's not that easy to get it done, and it's a constant pressure. That's a con. You have to deal with it, and of course, then as I mentioned, the culture and the language.
Yeah.
So that's also a thing. As early as soon you possible, you can get into the language. That's also depending on the profession. Like I know some professions where the medium of work is English, so it doesn't.
Then it's fine.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But in some professions, it's really a must. If the work drawings, let's say in our case, it's a drawings or the design, and most of the people working in the team are Dutch.
Yeah.
Then it's also a bit difficult for if you don't know the language to also grow, and also to kind of become a part of the discussion. So to be more involved.
Yeah, definitely. I do get that point. So if suppose, like zooming out a little bit now. So like looking at TU Delft, there's a huge alumni community where they're spread all over the world. I think like once you apply for a job, and if suppose you are a TU Delft alumni, you'll always see like, oh, you both have you both have studied in TU Delft. So, that really helps. So it's like, can you give 1 or 2 tips on how can one really leverage this opportunity?
Yeah, definitely. I think we have a very active alumni network, and we are quite a lot. Just not talk about Netherlands, but even I think we should definitely take help of. Let's say there are a lot of LinkedIn network channels of TU Delft. Be proactive, participate. There are also a lot of alumni events which take place not just in Netherlands but all over the world.
Yeah.
Try to participate in as much as possible into these alumni events, because what I think is the best thing what you can do there is you meet a lot of people, not from your profession but also other professions.
Yeah.
And what helps you is to also see yourself like, what's happening in that field. You never know. They always say that there's a time in your career or in your profession, there's time you feel like, maybe I'm reaching a stagnation point and maybe I need to do something different.
Yeah.
And going to these events also help you to open your horizon a bit, and
definitely.
to see like, what others are doing. Maybe that's something I see myself doing in future. Who knows?
Yeah.
So I think you should definitely go to these alumni events and also be very open about it. If you find someone, if you have a question related to some field, find an alumni on a LinkedIn or just approach them. Don't be hesitant to approach them. That's the most important. Approach them, and I'm pretty sure they will help you out. They will guide you or try to respond to you, like what could be the best possibility.
Yeah.
Another thing could be probably find some kind of mentorship, maybe some alumni mentorship. There are a lot of alumni there, and if you're in the same profession, you can just ask, yeah, maybe you can guide me into this, and they can become your mentor or something.
Wow, actually, there's been so much information. But okay, I want to zoom out on this one question that, okay, if suppose you rewind your life 9 years back, what could be that one thing you would do differently that would help you excel in your journey and maybe accelerate you by 1 or 2 years? What would be that one thing you would do differently now?
That's a very good question. If I think of it, two things come to my mind. I started my journey of learning the language that I already said. I think a bit later, because I still had this thing in my mind, if I'm going to stay in this country or not. I was in a dilemma. So I thought, yeah, maybe I can just delay. But since you're here, I would say if you're here and just to be part of the society or the culture, I think it's better to start it right away when you're studying. Because in TU Delft, they also offer courses on the Dutch language.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I didn't took it that seriously that time. And that's one of my regrets, that I should have started earlier.
Yeah.
Then it would have helped. And the second thing would be also, as I mentioned, there was a bit of lack of mentorship in terms of when I was growing up, I had no one to talk to in the professional journey. Like, if I'm going in the right track, is this the right thing to do, or if you have any suggestions for my professional or growth. It was more with the ad hoc, so I was also looking on the internet, maybe connecting to someone who probably studied here, or someone even from other faculty, to identify if this is the right thing to do or not. So I think if that possibility is there, I would have just definitely taken some kind of mentorship in the beginning years to guide me through this first 3 years, and then you understand the market and you understand how the work how it's done.
Definitely.
Because the first few years you learn a lot on your job, and so there is a lot of information coming your way. You have to process it, and you have to kind of sustain that inside yourself. It's a process. It takes also sometimes longer than it should be. So I think these two things which come to mind if I rewind, language and some kind of alumni mentorship would have
This isn't the menu of an Indian restaurant of Delhi. This is the menu of an innovative Indian homemade food startup in the Netherlands called FooDo. FooDo delivers Ghar ka khana at a very affordable price. This was founded by 2 graduates of TU Delft, Akshay and Yash, in 2022 in Delft, and now expanded to 2 more cities. You can order daily or opt for a weekly subscription at a discounted rate, making it both convenient and cost-effective. From FooDo, expect delicious food that's prepared fresh daily using high-quality ingredients. Each meal is carefully packed while still hot and delivered promptly to your doorstep. Imagine you just got back from work or college in the evening and you do not have your mom to feed you hot food. Then you can place an order with FooDo until the last moment just before their deliveries start, and your dinner is sorted for the day. Do you want to place an order? Simply join their city-specific WhatsApp group using the links in the description below and you will already know. Now, no more missing home-cooked meals after a long day, as FooDo will take care of your hunger.
So there's one more question which comes to my head. Like, I still remember back in those years, I looked at that one video where you were showcased in one of the TU Delft alumni videos. So in that one video, you actually expressed that you had a desire to use your knowledge and technology in India or Asia. And like, did you manage to do this? Like, after 10 years in Netherlands, did you consider ever returning back home, start your own venture? And if not, like, what really motivated you to stay here?
Yeah, it's good you mention that video. I think it was shot 7 years back, if I remember. Yeah, indeed, the wish was always there, that to whatever I'm learning, the skill set which I'm gaining, to implement it somehow. I did found some opportunities to collaborate with in some projects back in India, or talk to some of my peers in the same profession. There's been an exchange, but yeah, indeed, never got the opportunity to venture out and open my own practice. Let's say in India, that didn't happen. and there are certain reasons. The reason being, in Netherlands, I was developing a lot in my current position, and I see that if you see the career graph, how it goes, you have to see a project from the beginning till the end. And I was lucky enough to work on projects which are really of a scale of almost as urban city scale. For example, we are working projects in Antwerp, for instance, and the interventions what we are doing are kind of uplifting the people's life in day-to-day life of Antwerp, and will be a big change. So, and to see that process from the designing till the execution, I was there a few weeks back, in fact last week in Antwerp, and you see that things are being built, and as per your design, they're getting implemented, and it's a great feeling already. This thing of going back to India has always been on my mind, but also things change in years. For example, when I record that video, I was in a different position in my life.
Yeah.
Now I'm in a different position professionally as well as personally. I'm in a different position, and some things just don't go as you thought.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't say it is negative, because on the hindsight, being here, I was able to do stuff which I also are close to my heart. I'm able to explore new opportunities, and as an individual, both personally and professionally, I'm able to grow.
Yeah.
And you never know. I would never still not say no. There might be some day. It's still an open question. So there might be a day where I might think that maybe my journey was till this point here, and then I have to move forward. But till now, at this moment, my journey still continues in Netherlands.
That's nice. That's nice. I think, thank you so much, Anurag, for an insightful podcast. I feel there's a lot more things for people to learn. This is not just for people in architecture, but also like for somebody who's still like, okay, it's been 2 years now. What do I do next? It's been 8 years now. Oh my God, what do I do next? So I think there's a bit for everyone, I would say, in this video. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys in the next video. So this was the first episode of Life After Delft. In this episode, we talked about Anurag's life after Delft, his career growth, and his experiences of staying in the Netherlands for long term. And we also touched upon topics on what would he do differently if he could travel back in time. And we also talked about how can we leverage the vast alumni community of TU Delft. This series was powered by FooDo. Hope you guys like this video. Like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye. Or as we say in Netherlands, doei doei.